when we reach, it makes the voice ride high, and then when the voice rides high, it's flat. And we're just like, oh, not quite, not quite, not quite. So when you're reaching for those top notes, stop thinking of like, I'm gonna go up there. Think of it as like, I'm taking a step down. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like in your brain, like anytime you're moving up to a note, you have to think, I'm moving down to this note, so that the voice doesn't get strained and like wind up doing this as it's pushing up in your throat. You want it to stay open and free the whole time, so there's a like nice fluid motion. And if anything, the larynx should pull down a little bit when you go, create more space that way instead of going to bite for that note. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you feel like your throat does that sometimes
Yeah.
when you reach up for that? Okay, that's probably what's happening. So, and the pitch will suffer every time because if this is pushing up, it's making the jaw tight, and if the jaw gets tight, then the pitch suffers. Like that's the big thing. Can you try to sing me a section that has those notes in it? Maybe that same exact section you were just singing. Just sing that note. Yeah. So you can sing it into the mic. You don't have to stare.
I am alone and I cry.
Do you know what the root note of this key is? Like, if you had to sing a note that was like, when you finally feel like you're singing the scale and like, this is the bottom of the scale. Like in this key, it'd be la 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 la. That'd be like the root note of this key. So it's like, so you know that's the third of the scale. La la la. If you're gonna sing all the way up, la 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 la. That's the scale that you're in. Okay. So when you're getting to that third note, you want to pull sharp a little bit because that's how we know whether it's major or minor. And if you're going to go, I'm at a crossroads, we're like, oh, what is like bluesy or minor? Instead of, I'm at a crossroads, you're like, oh, that's bright and happy. So you want to make sure if that's the note you keep going to that's flat, we're going to feel like, oh, song's dark, song's dark. And this is bright, it's a bright song, you know. So sing it again, but just try to think of like, you're stepping down onto the note rather than like, coming from underneath. Okay, do it again.
I am alone at a crossroads. I'm not at home in my own home. Ow, it hurt.
Yeah, the same thing with the home. Own home. You didn't quite get own home. Right. More forward. Do it again.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I am alone at a crossroads. I'm not at home in my own home.
Nice. Better. So much better. When you get to those notes, especially the long ones, just make sure am I coming to life on this note? Coming to life on this note. Don't just rely on whatever note you land on to be the final word. Like, because you can shift it as you go. You know, like if you go home, then you can brighten it up as it goes, and then everyone goes, ooh, she meant to do that. You know, so constantly evaluate, like really key in. And I know that it's hard because the CD tracks are only coming out of this speaker today, and so it's hard to get a frame of reference. But good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, your voice is super perfect.
Yeah,